Here's my fourth tip on how to avoid rental voids. So far, we've covered choosing the right property, using the correct agreement, and choosing the right resident. And this time, it's all about rent. Rent reviews and rental arrears. So rent reviews. How does this help you with voids, I hear you ask? Well, do it badly and you lose your resident. We would suggest carrying these out every 12 months, but make sure your agreement allows you to do it. There are so many sources to help you get an idea of market rate to make sure that you don't fall behind. And certainly there is a school of thought that if your rent is below the market rate, you'll keep your tenants in longer. That's got a lot of logic to it. But if you never do anything for 5 years, then down the line, it'll be very difficult to put an increase in place. And certainly what we've seen over the last year with recent mortgage hikes, we've had quite a few landlords suddenly see that not doing anything while the rates were low has bitten them in the proverbial bottom. Not great. We would advocate little and annually, as long as it's fair. That'll keep your investment on track. And if you're worried about this, well, we carry out reviews every year, annually, and the average tenancy length that we see is 48 months. Now, arrears. Really, the tip here is deal with them as they happen. Don't get caught out on this one, as it could be very expensive. The overwhelming majority of people pay their rent on time, and it's just a few that don't pay, but it's essential to deal with those quickly. When you become a landlord, you run a business, so the rules are no different. If you find that your resident has gone behind, find out what the problem is, work out a plan. When lockdown happened, we put payment plans in for all of our residents who'd been furloughed. It worked. Sometimes people just hit hard times, and that's when you start working together. Unfortunately, there's a small proportion that feel the holiday needs to be paid for before the rent, and that's going to be a different conversation, but one that needs to be made quickly. Maintaining your rental investment. First heading, carry out regular inspections. The word inspections really sounds harsh, but it is your investment, and you need to make sure that you, as well as your resident, look after it. Your resident may not want to trouble you with a minor leak. Catching these things early could really save you money and reduce a void due to the perception that nothing is happening. During those inspections, get a photographic history. At the end of the tenancy, you'll have a better picture of what needs to be done and who should be paying for it. The other element on maintenance is carry out regular maintenance. On your first tenancy, set up a rota of works for decoration. So when your resident leaves, you've got a clear idea about what needs doing. Heavy usage, hallways and landings are going to need more regular attention. We look around about 4 to 5 years as a repaint. Carpets are going to depend on the quality you buy, so don't expect a carpet at £4.99 a square metre to last more than a couple of years. Don't scrimp on the underlay. That will extend the life of an average carpet. White goods, the report says 8 years for a fridge, 15 years for a boiler. So if you're coming to the end of life, don't try and resuscitate it and expect not to hear about issues. And here's my sixth and final tip on how to avoid rental voids. It's now time to talk about the law. You need to understand the law if you want to reduce voids on your rental investment. There are over 179 pieces of legislation that affect the private rental sector. If you don't understand how they can affect you, you need to work with someone that actually does understand it, because it can be so expensive if you get things wrong. Just a sample of what we as an agent have to be aware of. And this is a sample. Tenant Fee Act 2019, County Courts Act 1984, Immigration Act 2014, Landlord and Tenant Act, Leasehold Reform 1993, Disability, Council Tax Regulations 1992, EPCs 2007, 2012, Housing, HMOs 1990, Housing, the deposit side of things 2007, the Housing Act, Human Habitation 2018, Furniture, Fire Safety 2010, Gas Safety, Gas Appliance, Antisocial Behaviour 2014, Local Government Finance Act. So when you think it's about getting a resident and taking the money, good luck. And finally, be nice. The relationship between the owner and the resident is a mutually beneficial one. Never think that you have the upper hand, because you could come a cropper. If you've listened to all the tips, well done. Didn't realise there was so much to it. We've helped hundreds of landlords over the years make the best of their investment. So if you'd like a 30-minute consultation with me to talk about anything buy-to-let and just test me again on the law, then go to our website and book an appointment. I look forward to talking with you.